And we are continuing to learn more about the Fox News alert out of France, another terror attack there in that country. So far we know this: 1 dead, 2 others injured when the terrorists attacked a gas plant in southeastern France, that plant owned by an American company. A car rammed the gates, causing an explosion. A severed head was left on a gate. That severed head, we are told, belonged to a local businessman, although unclear whether or not the head was brought to the scene or he was killed there. Multiple suspects are in custody, including the man who drove the car. Found at the scene 2 flags with Arabic writing. They were near the body of the beheading victim. This comes just months after the deadly Charlie Hebdo and Jewish grocery store attacks in Paris. Ambassador John Bolton is the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, also a Fox News contributor, joins us now. Obviously, it's still very early, but as you put these 3 attacks together, France, Tunisia, and Kuwait, it's hard to believe that it's a coincidence, especially during Ramadan.
Well, I think that's right. And remember, ISIS yesterday attacked Kobani in northern Syria in a terrorist attack, the scene of battles months ago with the Kurds. So I think there's good reason to believe this is ISIS or ISIS-inspired. In France, as you say, look at the targets here. An American company, that could be significant. In Tunisia, a tourist area very popular with Europeans, including French, obviously. Tunisia, a former French colony. Think of the Bali, Indonesia terrorist attack some years ago. And in Kuwait, interestingly, ISIS has claimed responsibility there, attacking a Shia mosque in predominantly Sunni Kuwait. So I think this is ISIS demonstrating the war on terror, the terrorist attack on the West and institutions in the Islamic world that disagree with him is very much on.
When you look specifically, as we think about what's happening in France and the idea that the French had this guy under surveillance at one point, and then for lack of a better term, he kind of fell off the map, now all of a sudden has carried out this attack. Does this go to a little bit more of the point of how difficult it is to stop any of these lone wolves? France, for that matter, has thousands of people right now of its nationals fighting for ISIS. Hard to keep track of all those guys who come home.
Yeah, and he was a guy apparently without a criminal record. So I think it goes right to the heart of the conceptual dispute that we still have in this country. Is this a war against the terrorists, or is this a law enforcement matter? If you think somebody is engaged in hostilities against your country, planning a terrorist attack, that puts him in a different position than somebody robbing the local 7-Eleven. So I think this is a very important point. I think we've seen in this country excellent efforts by law enforcement to prevent terrorist attacks in recent years. But as ISIS gains control of territory in what used to be Syria and Iraq, we already know thousands of Europeans and Americans have apparently gone there, perhaps receiving training, getting back into this country in Europe because they have valid passports. I think the risk here is going to increase in the coming days.
And you think about a place like Tunisia that went through the Arab Spring but had been making steps towards democracy, had been considered at least somewhat of a success story, and now you realize that there is a terrorist attack on a beach, a popular resort town, in a place not far from Libya, somewhere that ISIS has also tried to gain a foothold.
Well, exactly. And you mentioned earlier the previous attack some months back on the National Museum in Tunis itself. Also, obviously, a favorite tourist destination. So Tunisia, the only spot of the Arab Spring that anybody claims any real success out of, obviously a symbol for ISIS, too. They want to demonstrate that, that they can reach even deep into that country.
Attacking on Ramadan when we know that at least some folks believe that they get extra points, if you will, to carry out jihad, as sick as that sounds, during this holy month. We'll see what develops over the coming days as well. Ambassador Bolton, we appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you.